Tomb of the Cybermen was daunting to check out because for many reasons. One, it's one of the few fully intact Patrick Troughton stories that exist. And again, if you're curious what I'm talking about, it's due to the BBC junking the stuff in the 60s and 70s. And at the moment, 106 episodes of Doctor Who are missing, leaving many stories missing and a bunch and incomplete. Now, Tomb has a bit of a history to it. Not its film history, but it was actually one of those stories that was lost, but in 1992 was found, and they had a rushed VHS release. Now the thing is, due to hype, mostly due to the audio recordings that were circulating and the novelization, the story somehow kind of was hyped up as one of the greats. And when it came out, there was a lot of negative feedback and mixed feedback for it. And that's the thing I find kind of odd. Especially after watching it. Because up front, it's great. I thought it was wonderful. It definitely deserved the special edition treatment, as I own the special edition. I got it for my birthday. And I think the thing that happened was it got nitpicked to death. That's what really ended up kind of destroying it. People were just nitpicking it. And I can see the nitpicks and agree with them in a way, but can rationalize them in others. But up front, I think it's very good. It's really good to know. Up front, it's good to know that a Cyberman Troughton story exists, because the Cybermen were very much Troughton's villain. If the Daleks were definitely like the villain of Hartnell, because Hartnell fought them. I think at this point, Hartnell's faced them the most, if not almost more than everyone else. With the 8, let's see, 8 only fought them. 8 never fought them on television, of course, but I think every other Doctor's faced them at least once. I don't know yet. Let's see. I don't think Tennant got to the same number. No, he probably did. But in terms of I'm thinking Cyber. Oh wait. It's tough to tell. I'm going to be honest, but I'm happy that this is fully intact, and I'm at least also happy they animated the invasion, but we're not covering that at the moment. It's also good to see this because, from what I understand, and I definitely can back up at least one of the two claims, the first two are not highly regarded. We'll get to the 10th planet. Trust me, that one's actually coming for this week. But the one after that isn't highly regarded either. But that's because they were written by Kit Pedler. Kit Pedler had the idea for it. It came from his idea, his fear of people upgrading themselves to the point where, there's none of them left and nothing's left but a shell, the soul's extinguished, which is why I love the Cybermen. They're us, essentially, with any signs of us taken out, and that includes our human spirit, whatever that metaphor means to you. It means something to me, I'm sure. But the thing I kind of understand, and it's a thing I constantly hear when you compare them, even in positive reviews here, Kit Pedler isn't a great storyteller. Idea man, totally, because he had the idea for the Cybermen and there were a few things there. But I think the fact that a co-writer who's definitely better at telling a story than he is helping him made this better, made this work. Which is strange because this story is very simple. It starts out, it's basically it's a mummy story. I mean, Tomb's in it. They easily could have said Tomb of the Mummy, Tomb of the Mummies, but no, it's Tomb of the Cybermen. And that's the thing. They kind of, in a way, seamlessly do it because they, through backstory and all that, they explain it. And you understand why the Cybermen are here. And the story itself is besides that. I love the way the story opens. The story actually opens a lot like a jumping on point. The show was kind of gaining interest at the time, and for the start of season 5, which is where this takes place, they had they basically wrote the opening of Tomb to be a jumping on point, which explains the TARDIS, how it functions, and even the fact that the Doctor's at this moment 450 years old, which is debatable. His age even matters at all right now, but hey, whatever. And then it goes to the tomb itself, where they meet these archaeologists who have the greatest plan ever formulated. Want to join the Cybermen. Yeah, that's an incredibly stupid idea. No. That's... even new fans tell you, no, that's a bad idea. Joining anyone called a Cybermen is such a terrible idea. Note to self, if I ever get recruited into a WoW guild called the Cybermen, I'm done. But anyway, that's a phrase I'm coining. Now the Doctor is basically doing whatever he can to trick these people into making sure the tomb gets open and manipulating things. That's the thing I love. Troughton's playing the chess master role, which is something I love McCoy for, but it's good to see that that's not entirely that wasn't a new invention. It was very much Troughton. Though he played the fun uncle kind of character, he was very good at playing sinister and what's the word I'm looking for? Again, controlling, manipulating the chess pieces to get his way. And not only that, not only is he very well done dramatically, but hilarious. There's a scene that everyone knows by now where him and Jamie try and walk in Victoria, this is her first story as a full-on companion. They try and both walk her in, and they end up grabbing each other's hands, and the way they act the end result out's hilarious. Which is also another good thing that this is full episode, because if we were stuck with a reconstruction, moments like that are lost. Like, we don't know what other hilarious images are left like that, but at the moment, there are so many moments like that we may not never see again. That's a thing that makes me limit this stuff even more. Because it's humor like that. It's just funny. Now, what else? What else can I mention? Because there is so much. But, let's get to because the story itself is very simple, but amazing for it, and it's incredibly well paced. 4 parts to perfect length. Now, let's get to the side characters. Let's talk about the Cybermen up front first. They have a presence to them. Their design is, let's face it, not perfect. The redesign that they'll have next time, far improved, at least in the face. The mask look more like professionally made masks than they do masks that they had a bunch of people cut out and make out as fast as they can. A lot more time was spent in making those masks and making them look more professional. Their voices are nice. There's this cool kind of cold cybernetic thing, and it doesn't look as kind of cheesy as the originals that talk like this. It's insanely obvious that they're just trying to do that, and I don't know what they did, but it sounds more like they put it through a microphone and did something weird with the sound to make it like that, and that's what made it better. Good to know. Good to know. And they're good. The cyber controller. The thing is, they're not characters themselves. They're not like when I mentioned Earthshock, they kind of put in more unnecessary personality into the cyber leader. And the thing is, somehow they made it work because they at least made it fun. Here, they're just strictly business, working like the Cybermen are supposed to, and that's fine. That's beautiful. The rest of the supporting cast is a mixed bag of crazy and terrible. It's all good. Let me explain everyone here. We have Klieg, who's fucking insane. We have Toberman, who is depicted as a stereotype if you talk to most fans. You have these two American guys whose names I didn't bother to learn because they were terrible, because it was insanely obvious they were British people doing the most stereotypical American voices I've ever heard in my life. Like, we gotta go and... They sounded like they came out of a bad cowboy movie. And a couple red shirts, a doctor who's afraid of everything, and the whole boss lady helping fund the project who's evil but not as crazy as Klieg. Klieg's easy to remember because also he has one of the better jokes. Okay, like I said, the two American guys, terrible. Flat out terrible. Writing-wise, they're not writing-wise, they're not bad. Acting-wise, they're terrible because they're British guys trying to do American accents, and it's jarring. So it's not really... it's tough to even say it's passable. Because because the way they're written, they're just basic kind of, we're here working and afraid of shit. And then, other than that, they're just that way. They should have just been made British people. It wouldn't have been less jarring. The boss lady, I can't remember her name. Cafe? I'm sorry. I'm going off of memory, and it's not even a matter of I can't remember her name. I can't remember how to fucking pronounce it. She played dickish rich woman. That's about it. There's a little more to it, I guess, but other than that, yeah, she just plays dickish rich woman because she tries to drug Victoria and see what's in the tomb because she's curious. Her curiosity's getting her, but it's kind of cool to have a character like that. It's fine. She's at least entertaining to watch, and the actress is well done. Klieg himself, like I said, is terrible in terms of subtlety. He's insane, but he's fun to watch. And that is one of the criticisms, that they thought he was too over the top. They were thinking, why would they work with him? It's faintly clear that he's not like this at the beginning and becomes insane. And everyone's fully aware he's off his nut. He's incredibly off his nut, and that's what makes it work. I mean, one of the best memorable lines from it is a joke about how he's insane. So it's passable, and it's fine. Toberman is a very tough entity to talk about, because he has been accused of being a slave because he's a giant black guy who barely talks. Apparently in the script he was supposed to be deaf, and they didn't change it much beyond that because a lot of the people around him, the people he works with, are yelling at him like he's a big dumb jackass, or talking to him like he would be deaf. They didn't alter it enough, so it just looks like they're down talking him and talking to him like he is a slave. Now again, they do make the point that he is not a slave, but a worker for the rich lady, a manservant. But the thing is, the actor does somehow puts a good performance in him, because the guy has to get a lot across with only his facial expressions and body language, and he pulls it off amazingly. And also, I'm going to slightly spoil this, but there is a part where the Cybermen take him and try and convert him into one. And he basically realizes that he wants freedom from this and be his own man. He doesn't want to be brought into it. So, not only is he probably one of the better performers, I feel, but he's the only character out of any of the side characters that have a character arc of some sort. And not only that, he's willing to protect humanity by sacrificing himself. That's a big thing. That's a big step. No one's no one else seemed willing to do that, and it didn't seem. That's amazing because in all honesty, I wasn't looking at him. My opinion was colored of like a little. I don't know. I guess you could say worried because I wasn't know what it was going to be because again the racial stereotype thing that comes with him. But he was. But after he did what he did, I bought him as one like my favorite character, my favorite side character in the story because Patrick Troughton's in this. You can't beat Patton Troughton, but damn it, you get it. Fuck it, you get a close second, my friend. I love Doberman in this story, and I felt what he did was well done and incredible. Now the main cast, Troughton, we've covered. He's playing the chess master role really well, but he has his moments of comedy, like the one I mentioned with Jamie, but also this whole kind of big lead up, kind of stroking Klieg's ego, and then like retreating and going, "Oh, okay, now I know you're insane. Just need to double checking." But there's also this. There's another scene that's well known. It's this speech he has with Victoria. Now Victoria is her father died in the story before this, Evil of the Daleks, and they get that across in here. And the Doctor gives her this speech about how how yes, she'll never forget them, but the death of her father will be less sad to her because eventually she'll have to let life kind of take over. You have to learn. Basically, it's a well done speech. Both are done well. Patrick Troughton delivers it perfectly, but the message is simple, and I think it's something I'm going to replay if I ever have to deal with this again, because it's a tough thing to do, losing a family member like that in any way. But it is good to know that you have to learn to, yes, you should grieve. You are perfectly allowed to grieve and feel bad about it. But eventually, you need to just simply remember the good times and live your life happily. That's all you can do, and that's perfect. That's a nice little message that, again, didn't need to be in this story, but it was a great character moment. That I'd be upset that it wasn't there because that means we may have never gotten it. And it's realistic because she just lost her father, so it's slightly poignant. What else? I could gush about this forever. This is a damn good story. So I'm going to say it. Damn good. I highly recommend it as it's a really good place to start. It's like I said, the beginning of it's set up as a jumping on point. Perfect. Your mileage may vary. You may very well think Toberman's a very racist thing. There is this other thing with sexism, mostly the men kind of down talking. And now I'm Victoria. Thank you, perfectly timed cell phone sound. That was good, funny. They do kind of down talk her and simply treat her as, oh, it's too dangerous for a lady. That part I'm only going to wash away because it was the 60s. And we had that. Again, like, the villain might be a little too crazy for your taste. I think he's a ton of fun. It's very creepy. The black and white helps it. That's another thing I wasn't playing a big part of it. It has a very creepy mood. Will it flat out scare you? Maybe not, but it will definitely kind of give you maybe a couple goosebumps. It's very well crafted. One of the classics. Gonna be one of my favorite stories.